Djuma with a whole camera. Apparently it was male. Sindile there at around 5 a.m. I'll be following up here. So what was the contact on camera? Good morning, Jackson.
Good morning and welcome to Djuma Private Game Reserve here in the Sabi Sands. My name's Brent. I have Brian and the thumb on camera, and we have Scott and Andrew on the other vehicle, and Nikki and Eugene in final control. Welcome to a very chilly Djuma Private Game Reserve this morning. It's 13 degrees Celsius, 55 Fahrenheit, and I think that's the coldest morning we've had so far this winter. As you can see, gloves are on, very chilly. Just to let you know what's been happening, well, I woke up at about 4:30 this morning and I could hear lions calling to our sort of northeast. We've headed into the area. Unfortunately, it looks like they are further north. There are no tracks in the area, but I know there was a report of a male leopard around the waterhole camp, and I know Scott's in that area having a look. Oh, we've got a heron flying in. As you can see, very misty morning. We're with that poor lone male hippo at Buffelshoek Dam, and now we've got a grey heron. Hopefully he's going to come and land quite close to us. Oh, behind the bush. So, we've been sitting here quietly, again trying to see if those lions roar. Unfortunately they haven't. As you can see, the mist on the horizon morning, and when we were looking at that hippo, you could actually see the heat of its breath coming out. He's now turned to face us, but I think we're going to continue on and see if we can find any other tracks or any other animals. Quite still morning because of the cold, but that's good for the cats. So for those of you who might be new to Safari Live, we are live, so you are actually seeing everything we're seeing at the same time as us, and also we are interactive, so you're able to send us questions while we're out in the African bush looking for animals, and you can do that using the email address questions@WildEarthTV, or you can use the hashtag Safari Live if you're on Twitter. So we're going to head towards our eastern boundary now. The lion roaring I heard was only one male, and we did have the Styx lionesses and two Matimbas in our southeastern corner yesterday morning. So it is possible that some of them might still be around there, but I think the male lion we heard calling earlier this morning is definitely further to our northeast from here. I love being out first in the morning and being able to see all the tracks that have been left overnight. Gives us a nice sort of idea about what's been happening during the evening and what areas we can work in. And sometimes will make enough noise to let us know what area they're in, like those lions this morning. The game drive radio making quite a lot of noise first thing in the morning, so everyone's getting out, planning what areas they're going to work. We'll chat quite a bit how to cover the most ground and give us the best chance for finding animals. Still haven't quite mastered the use of the new digital radios. Bit of a Luddite when it comes to that. One of the more common antelope, but one of the harder ones to grab on camera, and disappeared. A little female grey duiker. Maybe she stopped a little bit further away. Unfortunately not. Check very carefully. Lion and leopard very fond of using roads as highways to move around the reserve. I've got a sneaky suspicion that lion we heard calling, we might see his tracks on our eastern boundary. Nope, just buffalo tracks. Station on Cheetah Cut line coming. Morning, takes what?
I'm gonna go check driving and to the intersection and try
Copy, thanks, sir. He called it in, but I haven't heard from him since. I'm pretty sure it is the Ngala that was colouring last night.
Yeah, because that is properly
Okay, copy, thanks. Text. Oh, there we go. As I expected from all that calling this morning, there's two male lions are to the east of us here. This is the general area where I thought they were calling. I was hoping they're a little bit closer to our boundary, but unfortunately not. Just going to have a quick word with the guys to find out whether they are moving this way. From coming. Morning for well done. How far are they from Chillicut line? Copy, thanks very much. No, they're a bit far, so we're gonna move out of the area, see what else we can find. Jeffrey from Texas. Oh, welcome on the Sunrise Safari, and there it comes. True to its word. Jeffrey would like to know, have there been any records of big cats being infected with canine distemper? Jeffrey, as far as I'm aware, even if they do contract it, it doesn't seem to harm them too adversely. Canine distemper affects wild dogs very, very badly and jackal, but not, as far as I know, not the big cats. The disease that's most common in big cats in the Kruger region is feline tuberculosis, and they get that from bovine tuberculosis from feeding off buffalo. And it manifests in growths generally on the elbows and stuff. In younger animals, cause them to die before getting a bit older, and also in older animals cause them to have a slightly shorter lifespan. Nippy this morning. Well, what I consider cold is probably nice warm for a winter temperature for a lot of you guys in the northern hemisphere. But while we are meandering down this long straight boundary road, let's see. I think I see one now. Nice, easy quiz to start off the morning. Let everyone wake up a little bit. So I have a tree directly in front of us on the left. Them around. This one is actually being debarked by elephants, but we should still be able to tell what type of tree it is from the bark and the general shape. There's one with leaves behind it, but we'll look at this one now. Very distinct bark.
Percy and Lee departing on morning safari. We've made it 30 feet out of the driveway because we're just discussing sex in scorpions and spiders.
So if we have a look to the right, there's two others there that have some leaves on them. They are losing their leaves at the moment. Those two there. Nice big trees, one of the more common of the larger tree species we get here in the Sabi Sands. So let's see who can tell me what type of trees. Send your answers to questions@WildEarthTV or use the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. What was that? Hi Cindy, welcome on the Sunrise Safari. Cindy is a vet tech from Arizona and has been wondering if anyone's seen Mvula and if his eye is feeling better. We haven't. We tracked him yesterday off our property, off our Travis area. I don't know if he was seen to the south of us, but I'm pretty sure from what I saw of that, it looks like more like a burst blood vessel than anything else. Nothing too serious. I've seen it quite often in leopards, so I wouldn't worry too much, Cindy. I think he'll pull through from that. He could have got it from while mating, as leopard mating can be quite an aggressive affair. The other possibility is fighting with another male for territory, or he could have just injured it while he was hunting and taken a blow from a hoof or whatnot to the side of his head, which would have caused that blood vessel to burst. But I'm pretty sure he will. We find him soon and we'll be able to clarify that ourselves. For those of you who are on the Sunrise Safari yesterday, this is the area where we had those Matimba males, and then they crossed south, directly south opposite here, and then it looks like they've headed sort of northeast from where they went yesterday morning. Could find that the males have now tired of spending time with those lionesses and they'll be off to check on the extremities of their territory and possibly on the other prides that fall within their territory. Look at that. In the low-lying area to our right, you can see the mist really settling in down there. Brian and I have got all our water about to drop into that mist belt around the Mulwati River system and twin dams in that area, and hopefully we have some luck. No gorillas in the mist here, but hopefully we find some leopards or lions in the mist. Or elephants.
Any animal.
Oh, yeah. I'll take an impala about now. We haven't even seen one of those yet this morning. I do really love these early misty mornings. What are you shouting at, Squirrely? Are you just happy about waking up? Yeah, it looks like that. More talking than alarm calling. We just move so we can get it. awesome to listen to all the sounds in the bush. Brian, before the squirrels, if we go to that computer, there's a woodpecker. So there we go. There's a little woodpecker. And I'm gonna. Oh, it's a nice one. It's a very nice one to see. So I'm going to see who can tell me which species of woodpecker this is. Oh. And off it goes. And it's landed again quite close by. So who can tell me which woodpecker species this is? You can send your answers to questions at Wild. The hashtag Safari Live on Twitter. Which woodpecker species is this? Well done to Gilly and Shanae, who have got that tree 100% correct. There are quite a few others, but they were the first off the blocks. Gilly and Shanae, it was a marilla tree. Savannah, welcome on the Sunrise Safari. Savannah would like to know whether I prefer these nice cold early mornings or the warmer late afternoon drives. Well, Savannah, I love both, to be honest. They offer very different things, and one of the nicer things about the morning is that you've got this fresh tapestry of tracks to work with. In the afternoon, it's a bit more difficult. Obviously, a lot of the predators don't move around. The one thing that is nice is the morning can set you up for the afternoon. So you can use the morning, you can figure out, even if you don't find the animal, there's going to be a lot of tracks in an area, so you have a really good idea of where you want to work in the afternoon. And especially as it gets to that last sort of half an hour before sunset and after sunset, you've got a good chance, if you're in that area, that some of your more interesting species are going to be moving around. So I do love both, and for different reasons. But yeah, I could never choose between which is my favorite. But when it comes to mornings, when there's mist, for some reason I really love the misty mornings. They're also really great from a photographic point of view, which is probably why I really do. Quite sort of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Primordial about these misty mornings. And you can see it's almost a layer in front of me there now. And we're going to dive into the mist, see what we can find. We're just going to stop shortly and listen again for a little bit, and we'll also have a look at that woodpecker. We've had a few answers in already. Guys are on the ball this morning, quick. But So well done to Chris, who was 100% correct on that woodpecker. It was the bearded woodpecker, and it was a female. You can see one of the distinguishing features, very on the female, and lacks the red cap of the male. So a female bearded woodpecker, and it's also quite a big woodpecker. That was another sort of giveaway. Well done, Chris. Just listening for a little bit, hoping to hear some clues. I got excited there for a second. Saw a lion track on the road, but then it was the lion. This is where we had the lions yesterday. You'll notice I turn off the engine quite often when I've got a hill to run down, and that's just to help me possibly hear alarm calls or vocalizations of animals. It gives us a better chance of being able to find all the animals we're looking for. We're about to head towards Twin Dams at the moment. Thoroughfare from the south is the road that comes through from our southern boundary into the Twin Dams area, so always a good spot to look for animals. We're about to go through a little dip. There might be a slight bit of signal break, so I'll just start chatting when I come up on the other side. Have a quick look here. This junction, as I said, quite a popular thoroughfare for lion and leopard. Unfortunately, it looks like no one's been using the highway today. Nothing here at Twin Dams yet today, so we're going to cross across to Scotty so he can say good morning and see what he's been up to, and we'll be back with you a little later.
Welcome on board, everyone, and hope you've been enjoying your morning with Brent and Brian so far. Myself and Andrew have some reports of leopards seen on the Djuma waterhole camera last night, so thanks very much to Ray, Chris and John for sending through those very valuable updates to us. Now, sadly, we have not managed to find the leopards that were allegedly seen. We're not sure if it was one or two leopards, but there was definitely a leopard at the Djuma waterhole last night. I couldn't establish where the tracks headed from there, and we've just looped around the block hoping to find some tracks, and we have found tracks of a male leopard heading down this road in the same direction that we're traveling in. Who knows which leopard it is, but it looks like a large male. So we'll continue following these tracks to the best of our ability and see where they take us. Now at this road junction up ahead, I'm just going to jump out quickly. Okay, and Brent and I are on opposite ends of the property now, which is great because we essentially dividing and conquering, and hopefully, well, we've divided, we haven't conquered yet, but hopefully that's the plan. This male leopard's tracks are very difficult to see, but they do continue down this road. I think it could be a different male to the one that was allegedly seen at the Djuma waterhole last night. It's impossible to say. They can move big distances in short spaces of time, and it could be that this is the very same leopard that was seen there that's just moved up in this direction. So there's some elephant tracks around here, so also good signs. That will hopefully lead to some animals being spotted later on the drive. The leopard. Appears to have veered off this road. I would just like to show you these tracks. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the vehicle into position, which I'm making a meal of. But those little smudges you can see in the sand are the tracks of the leopard. Well done there, Andrew. Heading off in the wrong direction. So that is no-go zone for us. But we will just carry on a little bit and see if he doesn't in fact veer back onto the road, which it looks like has happened. So we're back in action. Out onto this road. And interestingly enough, it looks like this could be tracks of a female now, so possibly a male and a female interacting. Wouldn't that be great to see? The only time you'll typically find male and female leopards together is when they are mating, but it's not cast in stone. I just find it interesting that the male tracks have disappeared and the female tracks have arrived. Anyway, good prospects. The tracks are heading down in this direction. This is our northern boundary, but there's nothing to say into Vuyatela, and that's what we are going to be hoping for. There's been a lot of really interesting movements of the leopards as well as the lions in our area of operation. That's keeping us all guessing. We're not sure what is causing these, or exactly what's causing these changes in territory that we have been witnessing, but it is normal for animals' territories to vary in size. Some geese flying past. Hold on there, Andrew. So I'm fairly confident there's tracks of both the female and a male leopard heading down this road. Clearly just telling from the size difference of the tracks. So good prospects. But it's interesting now, I can just see the male's tracks and I can't see the female's tracks that I was seeing earlier, but they could be zigzagging. Also be very nearby, which is what I'm hoping for. The tricky thing about following tracks is you just don't know how far in front of you the animals are, or I don't. Some master trackers may be able to estimate and guess as to how fresh tracks may be, but it's not an easy business. I guarantee you is at the end of these tracks there will be a leopard. It's just about trying to find where the end of the tracks are, which can be a little bit tricky. For those of you who may be joining for the first time, a very, very warm welcome. And just to let you know, this is a live safari experience, so this is happening this very second. Nothing is scripted or planned. We have plans, but there's a limit to how well we can enforce those plans, because we rely on the animals a lot of the time for our plans to work. And not only is it a live safari, but it's also interactive, so you can ask us questions at any stage, and to do that you would hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or send an email through to questions@WildEarthTV. So send your questions through, whatever they may be. Oh, the tracks appear to have, oh no, they're still here. It's just tracks of a male leopard now heading down this road. So I'm not sure what happened to the female's tracks that did appear onto the road very briefly. Now what is going to happen at this major leopard veer into our property? Oh no, it's gone out. But who knows, it could veer back onto this road. Andrew has already found the tracks, and aren't those beautiful, crisp, clear tracks? You can clearly see the 3 lobes on the back pad, and if you look at that little back pad over there, you can see the 3 pads, and then the 4 toes leading around to the front edge of that track. And as Andrew zooms out, you'll see that the tracks all veer up, right and to the north, out of our property, which is a great pity because those tracks look very, very fresh. But let's go up ahead a little bit. It's not uncommon for leopards to veer off in one direction and then change direction and head in the opposite way. Well, good morning to Jeffrey in Texas, and thanks so much for sending your question through. Jeffrey would like to know, when was the last time that young male leopard was seen? And I stand to be corrected, Jeffrey, but it was sometime around probably just before or in and around the 8th or 9th of or 10th of the previous month. What month are we in now? I'm losing track of things. We're in May now.
May now, yeah.
It was in May.
Yeah.
It was early May.
Yeah.
So it was early May, Jeffrey, and I think it was Peter Pretorius that was lucky enough to be the last person to see quarantine. Since then, him and his brother haven't been seen on our property. They were seen on surrounding properties, but even the surrounding properties that border us haven't had visuals of them recently. That's not to say they have disappeared or moved out of this territory, even though they are expected to have become sexually mature, or are in the process of becoming sexually mature, rather, and need to go and find their own territory, move out of mom and dad's territory. And even though we are in the right stage to expect them moving off, I don't expect them to just disappear in an instant. And just like the leopard we've been tracking this morning, and just like a lot of the times we track animals, we often don't find them. That's not to say they're not here. It just means we can't find them. There are many, many hiding places within the blocks that the roads surround that are very difficult to get into and difficult to search for leopard in. And let's be honest, even if the leopard was lying right on the side of the road, we could drive past it. So they're not gone. That leopard over there is gone because he's walked out of our property. So we know that, and that's not a problem because we can go and look for other leopard. Huge apologies for the Game Drive channel that sometimes you'll hear quite loudly. It's a new system and we don't yet have earpieces for them, and to control the volume is really difficult on them because they're either too loud or too soft. But it is imperative for us to be able to communicate on them, so it's just something that we all... But I apologize for that. In Gonzo my daughter Ingwe here north of Buffles at Cutline towards Hardekool sign, the Hardekool Buffles at signboard. Oh well. That could well have been Mvula's tracks that we did see there, but cannot be certain. And it was believed that Mvula was the leopard seen around the Djuma waterhole there a couple of hours ago. Sadly though, it appears our timing was off. There's lots of other animals around, so don't worry about anything. We shouldn't become despondent just because you didn't find one animal that we may be looking for. Okay, we need a quick link. Brent's found something awesome. We'll see you later. Enjoy. I wish I was there.
Guys, we've been looking for lion and leopard, and we found a Schneeblin's blind snake. Let me just try and move so we can see it again a bit better. To see them at this time of the year and in this temperature. Where normally you see them quite often after the rains, when they get pushed out of their holes by the water. He's moving towards us, so completely blind. So he's cruising through there by a sense of smell mostly, and you can see his tongue was flicking out. Oh, he's coming! Don't go under the car. Sorry about that. Wait. Is it okay there? Yeah. And you watch his tongue flick out. Tasting. Now, let's see, who can tell me what these guys eat? Schneeblin's blind snake, very, very pretty. It's almost gold, the color on his skin. Very spotty, very distinctive snake. And you can see he's a blind snake. When we get close to his head, he's got no eyes. Also, his body shape is quite different. You see, he doesn't have that long, elongated tail. He's almost the same size all the way through. And let's see if you guys can tell me what the snake eats mostly. You can send your answers to questions at WildEarthTV, or use the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. So what he'll probably be doing now is the first available hole he finds, he'll disappear down. I'm just driving down the road and I actually just caught the glint of the sun off the scales is how I spotted it. Oh, has it found a hole? Nope, not yet. I might find a hole there, and that's going to be the end of that. They're non-venomous, so you can actually pick them up and handle them. I don't personally like picking up and handling animals, interfering in their routine. There we go, it looks like it's definitely found a hole. And they're very vulnerable when they're above ground, so I feel a lot more comfortable. It's going quite slowly, making sure there's not something else down the hole. There's quite a lot of snakes that eat other snakes. Your cobras are very fond of eating other snakes. Or maybe the hole's dead end. Can't fit. Uh-oh. Maybe there's been a collapse.
Maybe he's happy like that.
Yes. Don't think so. That tail will be a very, very tempting treat to a snake eagle or any of the other little raptors, or even a slender mongoose. Oh, maybe there's something else down the hole it doesn't like. Morning, Remy. Welcome on the Sunrise Safari. Remy would like to know whether the snake sheds. Yes, most definitely. All snake species will shed.
Still in two.
Oh, something going on down there.
I'm heading south, joins Anime East, along to check to the corner, 3 north.
It's quite difficult to try to work out what's going on when you can't see under the ground, but something has stopped it going into that hole, and there was quite a sharp little jerk there.
Good morning, stations. For any updates? More coming.
What is going on down there?
Go ahead.
As I say, we normally see these snakes in the summer months. They're not very common. Snakes that live underground are seen less than the snakes that live up on top of the ground. But as I said, most of the time I've seen them is after very heavy rains where they've been pushed out of the ground. So it is quite unusual to see them at this time of the year. Maybe it's just clearing a blockage in the tunnel. Definitely going to be far more comfortable below ground, and it's also very cold this morning. So it is quite unusual to see them.
Thank you. Bible, anything else? No, but I'll take Garmin East towards 24 now. From there, I'll drive it a bit more north. I'll let you know if something there.
Almost disappeared. And so a very unusual shape that doesn't have that long extended tail. It's almost the same size all the way through.
Awesome.
All gone. Well, that was really nice. That was quite a rare sighting. It's not something we see too often, and especially not at this time of the year. Well, just to let you know, before we spotted that little fella, we were following the tracks of a male leopard. Unfortunately, like the tracks of the male leopard Scott were following, except Scott's tracks headed north out of our Travis area, my tracks headed south out of our Travis area. But definitely on the case. It is quite, as I said, quite cold this morning, so even a lot of your herbivores and that are going to be moving later. So I don't think we've actually even seen an impala this morning. But we saw a Stevens blind snake, and that's a lot more rare than an impala. So we're going to head up towards, heading up towards Treehouse Dam, and we're going to check now the southern areas and see if we find any tracks. Scott, do you copy?
Go ahead, Prince.
Scotty, what area are you going to be working now?
Moving back towards WildEarthTV Dam, there were tracks of the Madura where Buffalo's a cut line and to the north at Article Buffalo's a sign. There were also tracks of the Mavazi here around that little link road trying to navigate town. Interested in following up on?
Copy, thanks. I'm at Treehouse presently. I think I'm going to head up towards those. Just checking where Scotty was and what he's up to. Sounds like he's on the tracks of a female leopard now, so fingers crossed Scotty's hot on the trail. So there's been lots and lots of answers. Snake possibly eats. That snake is generally sort of more of not an insectivore. They eat sort of insects under the ground, as well as things like slugs and larvae of other of insects. So that's what that particular snake species eats. The sun's coming out nicely. I track with what that snake eats, so well done to everyone. I'm going to have to start asking some harder questions again. So we just don't get a fright. Brian's going to wipe the lens quickly. It's that mist as we've dropped into the mist belt that is making us look a bit blurry. So temperatures definitely come up a little bit more comfortable for us now. Hi, Donna. Welcome on the Sunrise Safari. Donna would just like to confirm what snake it was, and it is a Schliebens blind snake. And I'm pretty sure I saw a female leopard track. I did see a female leopard track. You see it there, Brian? Show me that. So on the right-hand road track there, the sun's showing it nicely, but it's quite difficult. There are hyena and leopard tracks there. That is a hyena track. If we come back a little bit, there we go. There's the female leopard track, sort of centered. There we go. So, it doesn't look too fresh, possibly from last night sometime, but definitely worth following up on. So we're going to see where these tracks might lead us. Gonzo of Mafazi Ingwe heading north on Shabam Road and following up. Lots of hyena tracks as well. The hyena tracks look a bit more fresh there on top of the leopard tracks. So that's what makes me think earlier last night. I have to concentrate a bit more. Whoops. Lots of hyena tracks, seeing the leopard tracks a bit more difficult. I have to go a bit slower. Don't want to miss where she cut off the road. Morning, Dylan. Welcome on the Sunrise Safari. Dylan said he heard on a TV show that the leopard is supposed to be the most aggressive of the big cats in the world. What do I think about that? Dylan, I don't actually agree with that statement 100%. It's just going to be quite a difficult one to answer, Dylan. So the term the Big Five comes from the old hunting industry from the 1800s, and it's the 5 most dangerous animals to hunt. And a leopard is an incredibly dangerous animal when it is wounded. They are incredibly fast. They can charge sort of 24 meters a second, and they normally charge from under 10 meters, so there's very little reaction time from a hunting point of view if you have wounded the animal and you're now following up. But leopards will try avoid conflict with humans as much as possible. Even when we walk into them on foot, the leopard, because it relies on camouflage, so even if we're tracking, we spot the leopard, you don't sort of point at it and whatnot, that sort of gives away the leopard's sort of main form of defense, which is camouflage. So normally if you spot a leopard when you're on foot and you track your leopard, you can, even if the leopard's very close, keep walking on like you haven't seen it. I don't agree with that. It's the most aggressive of the big cats in the world. They don't normally actively hunt people. They will, obviously, they're opportunists. If there's a small child in the village running around the edge, that is a nice easy target. Okay, we got back nice left tracks again. I would probably say it depends on your terms of aggression, and from towards a human point of view, I would have to go with tigers. Are definitely the most aggressive of the big cats, and that's mostly because humans form a huge part of their natural diet, and also the areas where they occur are so heavily populated with people. Lions as well, also humans form a natural part of their diet, but only at night. They will not try and hunt a human during the day, normally, and there's obviously different circumstances if an animal's wounded. Standing by. Sorry, I'm just going to take this on the radio. Copy, thanks very much, Orbs. Yeah, I'm at Shibam Junction with Philemon's cut line. I'd like to join you there. So, we've still got these leopard tracks. Hi Edward, welcome on the Sunrise Safari. Edward would like to know, sorry Edward, let me just check with his tracks go this way. Edward would like to know, with male and female leopard tracks, how do we tell the difference? And mostly it's the size, the shape is the same, but Edward's saying, well, couldn't it be a young male? Well, Edward, a young male, even before he's a year old, his feet are much bigger than his mother's, so it is quite easy to tell. Morning, Impalas. So I just had a little birdie tell me something, so I'm going to keep quiet for a little bit. We've got something much better in store. So, hold on. We're going on a Ferrari safari to get there. So, Edward, as I was saying, a young male's got much bigger tracks than his mother, even when he's about 8-9 months old. And just with a male leopard, the tracks are so much bigger than a female leopard. Obviously, you can get a female leopard who's got very big tracks. There was a female leopard we used to see quite regularly when I worked in the south of the Sabi Sands, and she had monstrous tracks. I mean, she had the same size, but that was an abnormal rather than a norm, and quite often we knew it was her just because of the area she frequented. Misty morning. For some reason I always feel like we've got good luck in the mist. Well, I have good luck in the mist. We've had some fantastic sightings in the mist this beginning of winter so far, and I was actually saying to Brian, I always feel like we've got luck in the mist. a beautiful, beautiful winter's morning. You can see it's warmed up a little bit. I've lost my mitts. And I really do feel the cold, but I think Brian feels it more. He is wrapped up very tightly behind me. Oh, bouncy bounce. So the sun's going to burn off this mist, but it hasn't quite yet. Sandy, guys, Safari. Sandy would like to know what's been making Karula so inaccessible to us. Why has she been proving so difficult to find over the last few months, when in the past she's always been the most common leopard seen and really accessible? Could it be her age, the loss of the cub in December? Well, Sandy, I think it's a combination of facts. I don't think the loss of the cub has anything to do with it. But wildebeest and zebra, we're going to scoot past them, and warthogs, but we will come back to them. Nice herd of zebra. We will definitely come back a little later and try to find them again. We know where they are. Bye, zebras. To do with her age, she is getting quite old now, and there does seem to be pressure from younger female leopards. I mean, even her daughter Shadow seems to be coming further and further into Djuma, and we saw that new female leopard down on the Buffelshoek boundary, who's about 18 months old, so she's going to start getting independent and looking for territory. Also, there's been strange tracks down on the southern boundary. I'm not sure which leopard they belong to, but I know Karula was seen in Buffelshoek and last night around Lieutenant Dam, and we had female leopard tracks coming away, and those now are more than likely not Karula. They're coming from our south end. I do not know which leopard that might be. So maybe she's just feeling quite a lot of pressure from other leopards at the moment, and she is getting on in years. Just hang on a second, guys. Already I'm on Balanati's heading towards Impala Plains. What's my best access? Copy, thanks. So we're nearly there. Excitement. What could it be? What could it be? Well, at least you guys know it's definitely not wild dog, because we wouldn't be going this slowly for wild dog. We would be doing some low flying. Brian would have to be putting a seatbelt on. So strange enough, Sandy Baxter, this is one of the first areas I ever saw Karula, was around here. We're on Impala Plains at the moment, and we're now, there we go. And I haven't seen her in this area for quite some time. I think Scott had her here a while ago, but I mean, it must be over a month now. But it's very, very, very interesting behavior happening with the leopard movements at the moment, and having all these tracks of animals we're not sure of who they might be in the area. There we go. are here. Morning. Calm or orbs. There we go. There's a nice little young male leopard. I'm trying to see where his mom is now. So who can tell me which leopard this is? You can send your answers to questions@WildEarthTV or use the hashtag SafariLive if you're on Twitter. Who can identify which young male leopard this is?
Close to the gate.
Beautiful early morning light. I can't see where the female is just yet, but I'm sure she's around. So, not much better ways to spend a nice, cool early morning than with a leopard, and especially now with this beautiful soft light that's coming through. Remember guys, if you are new to the Safari Live concept, we are live. You're seeing this leopard in real time, the same time we are, and we are interactive, so you can ask us questions about what we're seeing. You can do that by sending an email to questions@wildearth.tv or use the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. I heard something. So if you guys are hearing that clicking, it's just my camera taking a few shots. Where's Mufasa? Just one. So it doesn't seem like so she's probably left the cub in this area. There's quite a lot of guarri thickets, and this size, you can climb most of these trees if he does get under pressure from another predator or even another leopard. We can't see if this animal's eaten, but it's possible. I don't think, I've been trying to look, I don't see a kill around here and I can't smell anything, so it's possible that the mother is out hunting. So Sandy, this relates straight back to your questions. I was saying, the first time I saw one of the first times I saw Karula was in this area. Oh, look, getting comfortable. That looks very comfortable. Stations, do you copy me? There's quite a lot of shade around, so I'm pretty sure into the shade somewhere when it gets a bit warmer. You can see them watching the oxpeckers there as they flew over. You'll notice lions and leopards will often look up into the sky at birds, very particularly vultures, and they will keep an eye on what's going on. Like that, for those who are on the sunset safari with the Tingana male leopard, I'm pretty sure he found that impala carcass that died from the cold snap, from the vultures dropping down onto it, and then he went and scavenged it. So it's possible that female leopard tracks we were following could belong very peaceful. Spending a morning with a young leopard. Who's that tired cat? So, well done everyone, that's correct, it is most definitely Shadow's cub. And we are quite close to the Arathusa boundary. Well done to Chris, Lisa, Ellen and Georgian, who are the first to identify this young guy as Shadow's cub. We are quite close to the Arathusa boundary, where him and his mom are normally seen. Morning Joe, welcome on the Sunrise Safari. Joe would like to know how old this leopard is. Joe, he's just over 8 months now, so it's still dependent on his mother. Male leopards tend to be dependent on their mothers for longer. than female cubs. I mean, I've seen female cubs that will reach independence at as young as sort of 10, 11 months, whereas male cubs will normally start getting pushed away by the mother when they get to around between 14 and 16 months. But I have seen male cubs stay with their mother for as long as 22. So at this age, it's not uncommon for the females to leave them alone for an extended period, even up to 3 or 4 days. So she would probably be off hunting. She would try and make a kill, and then she would preferably hoist the kill and then come back and fetch him and bring him back to wherever she might have taken that kill. He is a very good looking youngster. You hear another vehicle on the way, making their way into the... Oh no, it's not. It's a vehicle going down the main road. The main access road. Thought they might be coming here, but... Trudy would like to know how we identify leopards from their spot pattern markings. I'll show you in a second, Trudy. So above the top line of whiskers, there's a very distinct spot pattern that is like a fingerprint to each leopard. And just having a look quickly here, this young male is a 3-3 spot pattern, and I will show you. Let's just see what he's going to do for a second. I don't want to start showing you the back of my camera when he might do something interesting. So we look at the spot pattern on the top, so the last set of spots, line of whiskers, and that's generally the easiest way. And if you look at ID kits for a lot of leopards that the lodges have, that they give to new guides and stuff, that is how they will identify it, from the top spot pattern. I know a lot of you guys, well, viewers like to use different distinguishing marks all over the body, but from our point of view, it's just for us a lot easier to have one system that we all stick to, and that is sort of the generally accepted system, and is also used in research projects and that by scientists. Okay, let's have a quick... So there we go. I'm just going to get Brian to show you quickly here. So you see there, this is the right hand side of that young male's face, and you can see there's a very distinct 1, 2, 3. Let me just find a left-hand profile. Oops, I know I have one here. Oops, there we go, left-hand profile. Above the whiskers, there's another 1, 2, 3 spots. So he's got a 3 spot pattern. It's going to be interesting to see how far it moves, or hopefully while we're here, his mom comes back. That would be a really nice sighting. Oh, we've got Hi, Anne-Marie and Sharon. Welcome on the Sunrise Safari. Anne-Marie and Sharon would like to know, is this young male old enough to make a kill, even if it is a small one? Most definitely, Anne-Marie. He's probably already killed small things, possibly squirrels or dwarf mongoose. Sorry about that. Couldn't resist having to get that shot there. I think he got that one really nicely. Nice little leopard yawn. But most definitely, maybe even possibly some Franklin, or at this age I've seen, oh, he looks like he's quite full. Oh, nice stretch. But yes, he is definitely capable of making small kills at this age, and being left alone by his mother for extended periods, he will make quite a few small kills. And it's quite an important time for a young leopard in terms of honing the hunting skills. When the mother does leave him alone for extended periods, he will stalk out after lots of various different animals. So he most definitely, hang on guys, I'm going to have to move so we can keep up with him. Just yet where he went, and he went behind that termite mound, and we're going to do the same. He's moved to the back side of this termite mound. You can see him there. How wonderful is that camouflage? See how well it works now that he's lying in the grass. So it's unlikely he's going to move too far from this general area. You might wander a couple of 100 meters, but when his mother comes in and comes calling, he should hopefully be close by.